what I've seen so far has really been playing on my mind, and it's not what's happening, because I understand what's happening. I understand why it's happening. I understand that the government have got themselves in such a position with the different communities that they brought into our country and the different extremes of two different religions. I understand that they're a wee bit worried now, and this is why they're doing what they're doing. This is why the King's behaving the way he's behaving, and this is why Labour Party are behaving the way they're behaving. It's fear. This is what's driving it, is fear. They think they can tame extremism. They think because I think the IRA surrendered to them and the loyalists all give up their guns, I think it's empowered these private school boys that they truly believe that they're able to stay on top of this. This is why they don't care about the nation up in arms, the comments, the shares, the retweets, all the different YouTube channels all coming out with the same rhetoric. Because everybody's just saying, there's no many YouTubers like me out there, and I'm not just saying that, but there's no many. There is a few of us, but there's no many that actually just go with what they believe in their hearts. No matter how much it hurts people's feelings, whether I stand on my own with my beliefs, if I truly believe, and this is what my platform's about, then I will bring it to my platform. And, every YouTuber's on this, because they're going by their followers. They're going by the feeling on the street. They're going by the chat in the pubs, the talk in the buses, the whispers in the queues in your local shops. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's worrying. Everybody's asking, what is Labour doing? Why are they behaving like this? And everybody's saying, they're trying to create division, they're trying to break us all in because we're easier to manage when we're broken into sections. Yeah, that might have been true in Northern Ireland. That's the whole point of Northern Ireland. Easier to manage them 6 counties when you break them in 2 and you put a divide down there. That's all that was about. That was government control, and now we're starting to wake up to that, and now we're coming together. And would you hear us when we come together, guys? Seriously, I'm talking to you English boys and you Scottish boys and girls and Welsh. Would you hear us? When the Protestants and Catholics come together in Northern Ireland, you're going to hear us. And we won't forget everything that's happened, what they've done. The thing about Northern Ireland, especially Unionists, they are exactly what it says on the tin or the box. They're Unionists. They love the union, hardcore. They don't see anything. Like a lot of English boys say, I'm English before I'm British. Ulster men say they're British before anything else. And they love the English and the Scottish and the Welsh just as much as they love the man living next door to them. It's a love like no other. And it's a love men have fought and died for over the years. And that's what makes it so, concretes it right into the foundations of their soul. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking as a unionist to see this happening to the once great England, to see this happening to the once great London, to watch towns and cities unrecognisable. Places where we wouldn't even go to visit, because why would we go to visit there? I couldn't take my girlfriend there. She likes to wear short skirts and nice summery clothes in the summer, you know what I mean? And I don't think they would be too keen on my pugs. So there's an awful lot there already, just at the top of my head, a reason for me not to go to these communities. And that's not what Britain's about. I've spent my life growing up not being able to go into communities because of my religion, because I'm a Protestant, and I wasn't welcome in the Catholic communities. I am now. Not saying I would take that offer up, but I am welcome. I have been welcomed in. We are talking to each other. I don't represent my community. Please believe I represent me and my wee girl. That's it. I don't speak on behalf of nobody else. Never ever forget that. I speak on behalf of myself and my girl. And, Protestants and Catholics are coming together. because of Stormer. I've never seen anything like this. You know, I've been involved with like the bands and the Loyalists and the Rangers and the Celtic thing and all that, and you know, being involved with banter and all the groups and everything, and watched bigotry shrink. I've watched it shrink. I've watched over the years, like, the hatred, you know, between our communities just shrink. Just not be as loud, not be as potent, not be as, like, in your face. You know, it was there, but it was different. This was different. You know, and like, last year, at a Tommy Robinson rally, red on the Ulster and a tricolour, the guy, I couldn't believe it, guys. I swear to God, I was gobsmacked. I was like, but I was just blown away, and I was telling everybody, you know what I mean? And then, as we see the protests in Belfast last year as well, red on the Ulsters and tricolours coming together again, men standing beside each other from different sides of the communities, which has never happened before. Please believe me, guys, this is a first. This is a first. And yes, we have Protestants in communities in different areas. We'll meet up churches and all that. Yes, we have Christian folk. And I'm not saying it's unheard of. I'm talking about there's an element of the community that I never thought would ever come together. And today, they're coming together more than ever. So on one side, you've got the Unionists, the Royalists, feeling like they don't have any king anymore, you know? And whenever you're not shouting about your king, it's easier to communicate with people that's never like them. You understand? You see a wee door opening there? And then, when we hear the government are wanting to silence everybody that talks about Islam, all our ears pricked up over there, because we're quite religious, you see. Born and bred on it, fought and died on it, have it for breakfast right through to dinner. So our ears pricked up. Islamophobia? What, making an offence to criticise a religion? An ideology? What's going, you know, so being from Northern Ireland, the dirty wars, the dirty tricks, the collusion and all the rest of it, when something is in the foot, the first people will realise that, or the first people that you'll ever hear a whisper from it, will be in Northern Ireland. And there's stuff in the foot, guys and dolls, there's stuff in the foot. There's something very, very dodgy. I'm just going to put it down in layman's terms, the good old working class language. Something very, very dodgy going on. Because I talk to people, I talk to Muslims, you know, and it's a common thread. Nobody understands why that 20 to 30% of the community is being rammed down the throats of the other 70 to 80%. Nobody understands why, you know, the government lie about stuff. And how easy they lie, and how openly they lie on world stages. Stormer's blatantly lying about there being free speech in Britain, and there'll always be free speech in Britain. Well, he's got a man locked in solitary confinement for 130 plus days for a documentary that was telling the truth. There's stuff in the food. And if you love your country, if you love your children, you have got to wake up to this. We have to get working class people into politics. We have to. We have no choice now. We have laid back, sat back and relaxed for over 100 years. And we've let these men and women with overqualified millionaires to represent us, the people at ground level. And time again they fail us. They took our men into the Gulf War under a lie, telling us that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Lots of really dodgy stuff. I don't know if you remember a doctor called Kelly. I'm quite sure you do. Lots of stuff happened that should not have happened, you know, and it was just too much for people to really understand. You know, we blindly followed our government, didn't we? Our government knows best. They're like our parents. We're like their children. Mistake after mistake after mistake is what these governments are making. And the only people on the other end of that, the repercussions of all that, the only people suffering is us. The people who vote. It's not going to take much, guys. You know, it's not going to take much. It's just going to take a really good leader. It's going to take somebody who everybody loves and respects, that everybody can look up to. Somebody that's been there for many years, fighting for us. That's the kind of man we need. Or woman. You know, we just need to find somebody who's got the true love of this country in their heart foremost. But like I keep saying, guys, this is the saddest time I've ever seen. You know, it's not about Muslims, guys. It's not about Ramadan. It's not about Eid. It's not about us losing Christmas and all the rest of it. Yeah, that's a big problem. Of course it is. Concentrating on one religion, totally ignoring the religion of the country. You know what I mean? Always making out as if the religion have got problems and they're being persecuted when none of us can see it. You know, maybe there's something going on I don't know, so I will always stand corrected. You know, I don't have my ears and eyes to the ground everywhere. So maybe somewhere there is Muslims being persecuted in Great Britain. Surely there would be footage of it, there would be videos, there would be stuff, and would the government not be all over it? Would all the newspapers and Channel 4 dispatches and all that be doing a 2-hour documentary on it? That's what I assume, that's what I go on these days. Anything against them, or anything against the far left or the left, it's all over the newspapers. You know, it's run and run and run and run. Anything about the right or centres, the politics in this country, is kept quiet. So that's just what we know. That's just life. That's just what's gradually happened in Britain. Okay, this is where we're at. Everybody knows this is where we're at. We're in a two-tier place. We're in a two-tier country, two-tier political system, two-tier religious system, two-tier everything. Everything. Everything you get knocked back for, that man over there won't get knocked back for it. And there's proof. You know, that's the common thread. We see it all around the world, not just in Britain. You know, they look for qualities from minorities and hire them over people who have the knowledge to do the job right. You know, so that's just arms and legs of everything else that we're dealing with right now, which, you know. But my point is here, it's not about what you see. It's not about what they do. It's about what the reason is. Why? Why are they forcing it? Why are they doing this? They know the reaction they're going to get. They know it's a Christian country. They know we've been Christians in this country for hundreds and hundreds of years. And they know just overwhelming us with this new religion, forcing it down our throats. It's everywhere. Allah, I haven't seen Allah so much. And all around Scotland, all around England, nowhere is untouched. There's advertisements for Allah. That doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me at all. You know, I've never seen adverts for my religion. It's not bad we can't say Merry Christmas. We've got to stop saying Merry Christmas, they say. We've got to stop having our nativities plays in schools because we will upset Muslims. But how can Muslims allowed to be upset, but Christians aren't allowed to be upset? What happens when we're upset? We get persecuted and called far-right and racist. When I'm doing everything I can not to be far-right and racist, I really am. It's just the fact that the people that you're using to create this division and hatred in Great Britain are Muslims, and that's not fair on the Muslims. You've done it with the LGBT community as well. You've rammed that down their throats, and now we've got about 20 to 30% rise in hate against gay people. You know this. You've got psychologists. You've got social policy makers, people that spend hours and hours looking at what happens when you do this, what happens when you do that. What do you think the country will do when you bring this policy out? How many people will you get angry when you do this? So you know what you're doing to the people of Britain. You know the reaction that you're going to get. And you keep on doing it. And then you're creating hatred. And then you're going, oh, Britain's full of anti-Islam people. They weren't fucking 20 years ago. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And that's the God's honest truth. Every single one of us have got corner shops with Muslim men running them. And we all have a great chat about football and religion and everything else, and it's never been a problem. I've never seen a Muslim shop being attacked anywhere where I stay, or anywhere where my friends stay. I've never heard of anything like that in Scotland, England, or Northern Ireland. Never heard of it. But yet, for some reason, they have this so much protection, and it's overwhelming, and you're creating a hatred that's going to run so deep through families, through generations. And I just don't know why you're doing this, because you know you're doing it. You know exactly what you are doing. Our King, of all people, the one person the people rely on, the granddad of the country, the one person that you know, no matter what, would never let you down. I don't know how many people are writing to the King right now. I don't know how many protests you're going to see everywhere the King goes from now on. But I know this, they all know what they're doing. They all know what they're doing. And I'm as heartbroken as you guys, but I'm trying to give you an understanding of what it's like being an Ulster man, loving Great Britain, being a unionist, and what's happening in England today. Trying to truly understand how that feels. And there's plenty of men in Ireland that'll be laughing and going, get it up, this is what you get, you know what I mean? Because there was two-tier in Ireland as well by the Catholics. Protestants, there was two-tier. And I know that. I know that. Yeah, maybe karma, you know, but I don't think people in England and everything have to suffer just because of that, you know. It is a wee bit extreme, but there is a lot of extremists out there. Every religion has them. But it seems to be, we can all talk about the IRA, the NLA, the IPLO, the UVF, the UDA, and anybody else, and we can slaughter them online if we want. We can slaughter them organisations. The Catholics organisation, the Protestants organisation, but we don't say a word about the Muslim organisations. This is where we're going. This is what Islamophobia is about. This is what the Islamophobia laws are about. You won't be able to criticise Muslim terrorists. That's where we are in Great Britain today. This is what the people, everybody, I've spent the last, I don't know how long, days and days and days watching everything unfold, watching comments, like not days, months, everything. Watching all the comments and watching how everything's changing everywhere, even in my communities. People who never bothered are now bothering, are now talking about it in the pubs. I've never, ever felt a rise in so many people paying attention to what's going on in England right now. So let me tell all you guys down there, we are all watching. Everybody's watching. The whole world is watching right now of what Labour and our King is doing to our great country, to your great country, England. We are behind you, we support you, and we will never let you down. I give you my word. Because not only am I invested because it's my country, but she's my daughter. In 20 years, she's going to be 20 years old. What opportunities is there going to be in this country in 20 years? Do the math. Population growth, birth rates, who's having kids, who isn't having kids. And when you get the figures from the government, when they have to actually get the balls to actually give you the truth of how many foreigners from all around the world that have come into this country illegally and legally in the last 20 years. Well, all we need is from 2019. That'll do us, because we can work it out from there. Then you do the figures. And then do the figures for 30 years when she's 30. Do the figures at 40 years when she's 40. This is why I'm here, because I know what's ahead of my daughter. I don't want to move. I want my daughter to grow up in this country. I'm not wanting to move her to America or Russia. You know, I don't, but I will. I'll move her with her if she wants to grow up a Christian and be proud to be a Christian and find the church pretty easy without being persecuted and having any risk of anything bad happening, as there's evidence all around the world of what happens to Christians. I'm not going to go further into it because you know exactly what's going on. We had 90 Christians unalived last week, and our media government haven't said a picky boo about it. 70 human beings, because they were Christians, are no longer here. So that's why I do this, for I be lucky. All my love, guys. Truly mean that. All you guys down there, I feel for you. We see what's going on. We see what the government are doing. It's absolutely shocking. There's no need for it. We were actually doing all right. There was no racial hatred in this country. Everybody was getting on pretty well. They really were, like, until now. Because this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. I have never seen a religion get thrown up on top of a pedestal so high in my life. And it's scary. Really, really scary. I'm Freedom Dad. Sorry it's a long video, but God bless every one of you.